Okay. All right. Some questions this week were not legible, so I threw them out. Probably in the next 2-3 weeks you should be finished everything. So if in the next 3 weeks your question wasn't answered, you should write it again. All right. Question is: are you allowed to learn Zohar? So the answer is that the Baal Shem Tov said that you're not supposed to learn Zohar till the age of 40, and the Pashtus, in addition to that, you also have to be Molei b'Shas and Poskim. You have to know a lot of Gemara and Poskim, and only then can you learn Shas. So halachically, it's probably permitted beforehand, but the Baal Shem Tov is our Pesach, and if he says it's forbidden, then it's forbidden. Once in a while, Chassidus will often quote Zohar. Whatever Chassidus quotes is no problem to learn. If you read the Shmuz in Mitkinder, you can also, they had a whole article this past month. Over there also, sometimes the stories that they bring are also from the Zohar sometimes. So Pashtus, look here, look there, is not a big deal, but to learn it al Seder is not till you're 40. If you go to sleep after Chatzos, should you lay on your right side or the left side? This is a very educated question. The question is based on the fact that it says in Halacha, and the Rambam and brought down afterwards, that when you go to sleep, you're supposed to lay down on your left side, and in the middle of the night, you turn over to your right side. That's what it says in Halacha. Now, some Bachrim say, how's that possible, middle of the night? So the answer is that if you do what the Shulchan Aruch says, and you go to sleep on your left side, naturally people turn over throughout the night, and you wake up on your right side in the morning. The Bacher's question is, if I'm going to sleep after Chatzos, so now maybe the Chatchila I should go onto my right side. Interesting question. I couldn't find any sources, but in Svara the answer would be no. You still have to sleep on your left side, because the reason why we sleep on our left side versus our right side is because of health purposes, because the way the digestion system works is that when you're lying at your left side, that part of your body is warming up the part of the digestion, makes it work better, v'chulu, v'chulu. So therefore, the pashas, when you're up till late, you're sitting regular till then, and therefore the digestion, what's supposed to happen, doesn't happen. So therefore, even though you're going to sleep late, you should still go on your left side, go to sleep on your left side. Another reason that you go to sleep after Chatzos, you'll probably end up having the hours till later anyway, so you'll end up having both of them. How many books are there in the Art Scroll Gemara Complete Series? 73, that's what I saw. Probably if you have in the small ones and the pocket size, whatever, they're probably different numbers. Not sure whether they have to go into Q&A, but we do whatever we can. Dear Rabbi, why was Yaakov allowed to kiss Rachel, and why does Torah need to tell us this? It's an interesting question. So there's actually a medrash. The medrash says that there are 3 types of kisses mentioned in Chumash, in Tanakh, which it says that all the kissing in Tanakh is pritzos, besides 3, and the medrash says 3 of them, and then I think Rabbi Tanchuma says that also Vayishak Yaakov l'Rachel, and it says that it was this was considered an ashika shel kroiva, shel relative, which is not a problem of pritzas at all. What's interesting that the Medrash says, some of the Medrashim say that it says in the same pasuk, Vayishak Yaakov l'Rachel vayef, and then he cried. So the Medrash says, why did he cry? Because after he kissed Rachel, the people that were standing there said, "Oh, you're such a pritzastic person." So Yaakov cried because they were choshed him as such a pritzas. That's one answer. A second answer, I saw that it says that the Taich Vayishak doesn't mean kissing, it means what's in shukah. That he had an ahava towards her because she was, eventually ended up marrying her. Another pshat I saw is because Rachel was still very young. We know that Leah was the older sister. So the Mefarshim say, why wasn't Leah the shepherd? Why did Lavan send his younger daughter Rachel? Because she was taka younger and there was no issue of pritzes. That's what some Mefarshim say. The reason why the Torah tells it to us, so I saw from the Ralbag, that Ralbag writes that the purpose is to tell us how important it is to be close to your relatives. It's a general rule that when you have relatives, you should be nice to them, you should care for them, and do whatever you can to help them out. And Yosef is not, what's Yosef? Yeah? Take care of your cousins. What's your opinion on Yichudim? How should one do it? Yichudim is what it says in Chassidus and Kabbalah, that when you do a mitzvah, you're miyached different madregas. So what's my opinion on Yichudim? I don't have an opinion on Yichudim. Chassidus tells us that every time you do a mitzvah, you're accomplishing a Yichud. And in the Chassidische Welt, not Chabad, before every mitzvah they say L'Shem Yichud, whatever, Chushabrich, Chushchinte, or any other madrega that they give miyached. In Chabad, we only say L'Shem Yichud before Baruch Sha'amar, but it says in Chassidus explains the reason why you're supposed to say before every mitzvah. That's one of those things that Chassidus explains that it's not Minik Chabad. So how do you accomplish the Yichudim? Just by saying the words of Hashem Yichud by Baruch She'amar, and by learning about it in Chassidus, and by doing the mitzvah. By doing the mitzvah itself, you accomplish the Yichud. Every time you do a mitzvah, you accomplish the Yichud. So it's a very big topic, but that's in short the answer about the Yichudim.
I thought that when you see Baruch Hashem, that's the idea. Explain that.
This explains what's happening when you do a mitzvah, when you make a brach, when you do a brach, anything, you're accomplishing a yichud. Yeah. But so you're doing it, it's something that you have to do extra. There were big tzaddikim that can do yichudim randomly at random times on their own. They can be miyachad yichudim, but that's not shaykh to people like us. At least people like me, I have no idea how to do that. What's iskafia and how do you do it? Iskafia means when you have a desire to do something that's wrong, or any desire, even things that are klipas noiga, you hold yourself back. My grandfather, a little brother of Hashem, used to verbring a lot, that when he was a bacher, the Avram Paris would verbring with him at least, and he spoke about, who's Avram Paris? Shmelach? It's you, right? Avram Paris was verbring, and he said he's sitting by the table, and there's an apple on the table, and you want the apple, pushing it off for 15 minutes, that's considered as kaffir, even if you end up eating it afterwards. So anything which you want and you push off, because if you want to break your nefesh abamis, is considered this kaffir. For more information, look in Perek Chav Zayin. Netanya explains that over there, Arichas, that anytime you break yourself, whether it's machshava, dibur, or ma'isa, it's considered this kaffir. If Eina Kadosh Baruch Hu ba b'trunyam b'Yosef, then why does it say that he took away the Yetzer Hara for Avodah Zarah? Because it was too hard and the Yidden couldn't handle it. So the Bacher is asking that it says in Chazal and it's brought on the Chassidus that the Eibusher doesn't demand from us more than we can handle. So if so, why did he take away the Yetzer Hara from Avodah Zarah? The Gemara has a famous story that the Chachamim captured the Yetzer Hara for Avodah Zarah and they killed it. It was the shape of a lion, whatever that's supposed to mean. And since then, Yidden don't have a taiva for Avodah Zarah. So the Bacher's question is that the Yidden couldn't handle it, so why did it's the question, it answers itself, yeah? But I don't know, and I read the question, there's the answer. Since Yidden couldn't handle this Yitzhak, Hashem took it away. I guess the Bacher meant to say that if there was such a hard Yitzhak they couldn't handle it, so how couldn't it have been there till then? It's probably what the Bacher meant. So the answer must have been that till then it was taken very hard, but they had the koyach to overcome it. Then it came to the point that either Yidden became weaker, the Yitzhak became stronger. At that point, already wasn't a match anymore. And then Hashem told, let the Chachamim capture and kill it, and it should not be there anymore. Pashas, that would be the answer. How can you find your personal, practical Eitzah from Tanya? Who knows the answer?
Learn Tanya from inside.
Huh? Ask your Mashpia. The Alter Rebbe himself says in Tanya. He says very clearly, beginning of the Akdama of Tanya, the Alter Rebbe says very clearly that I'm writing here, Kol HaTshuvis to Kol HaShailis, any question, all the answers to all the questions on Avodas Hashem, anything that's going to bother you, open up Tanya and have the answers. And he says, if you're not going to find it, then you turn to the Mashpim. And the Alter Rebbe says, I'm now turning to the Mashpim, and I'm telling you guys, don't put your Yad Lapeh, don't hide don't be humble and say that you don't know the answers. Rather, don't be a Menei Abar. Rather, you should help other people. And the Alter Rebbe brings a bracha to the Mashpim that by teaching the answers to other people, you yourself will gain from it. So, pretty much that's the way to do it. You go to the Mashpim. Today also there's many translations of Tanya where they have a lot of Tanya. There's Tanya according to psychology and Kol Minei Maises where they try to bring it down the Maises. So you can also look at those further. Is it Chabad minik to daven Shachris all day, even after Chatzos? Huh? You didn't ask him, but this is a question. The answer is no. The Rebbe, there's a tshuva of the Rebbe writes that minik Chabad is to go according to Shulchan Aruch. And according to Shulchan Aruch, you're not allowed to daven after Chatzos. If somebody woke up after Chatzos, or somebody woke up early and was busy with Tzarchet Tzibur, and whatever it is, and it ended up after Chatzos, he didn't have a Shachris yet, so there is a place to be lenient, even according to Halacha, B'diyevet, once a year maybe, or something like that, for such a person also to daven after Chatzos.
Once a day.
What? Not once a day. But that's a very unique Eitzim in Haklal. As a general rule, the derech of Chabad is not to daven after Chatzos. You have to the derech of Chabad is to keep Shulchan Aruch. And Shulchan Aruch says a person must daven Shachris before Chatzos, and that's what the Chabad is as well. And the Rebbe, there was one time the Rebbe had a minyan after Chatzos. Anybody knows when? Sukkot. Sukkot. It was very late. There was, I think, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock it started chakras. 3 o'clock. The Rebbe was standing by the Lulav and Esrog. Huh?
It's not so late.
3 o'clock is not so late. What I'm have to find out.
Why did it start so late?
Huh? The Rebbe was standing by the Lulav.
No, I'm saying why it happened in.
Nobody knows the reason. And when somebody asked the Rebbe, when do we have chakras? So the Rebbe answered, today. But it was the only time, as far as I know, that Chatchil was a meaning like that. But it's always before Chatzos. Does the fact that we have 2 neshamas, souls, mean that we have naturally split personalities, aka bipolar? Are we all Jews bipolar? This whole thing of bipolar, I'm not so sure what the definition is. When it comes to mental health, it's a very, very touchy subject. To say that there's no such thing as people that are bipolar and people that have mental health problems, that's denying reality. There are definitely people that they have issues, chemical imbalances, and they have to take medicine and go to professionals, and it really changes their life. On the other hand, there's definitely a lot of people that claim that we're just giving out labels right and left, and you're ADD, ADHD, ODD, OCD, Alazachen, and it ends up overdoing it, and it's not necessary to give those titles. Which means that every person has natural struggles. Just because you have a struggle doesn't mean that you have to have a label of have a mental health problem. A friend of mine was telling me once that people that come late to everything, they have a certain name in psychology. People who come on time to everything have a different name. And the people that come early have another name. In psychologists, everyone has to fit into some kind of label or some kind of box. So it's not always a disorder, it's not always a problem. But definitely, so the level of when bipolar, according to the clinical term, where somebody really has issues,